Christians are the most persecuted community of faith in the world. But I'm pretty sure your newsfeed doesn't tell you that because it doesn't fit the mainstream media's narrative, regardless of the fact this is the absolute truth. Open Door Society stated that in just 50 countries in the last year, in their 2020 World Watch list, that over 260 million Christians actively live in places where they experience high levels of persecution. Nearly 3,000 believers have died for their faith. Nearly 9,500 churches and buildings owned by Christians have been attacked or burned to the ground. 3,711 believers have been detained without trial, arrested, sentenced, or imprisoned. One example of such persecution stems out of Iraq, where before the 2003 invasion, Iraqi Christians numbered over 1.6 million, whereas today, there are less than 250,000 of them. And then if we jump over to Mozambique earlier this month, there was a mass beheading, a mass execution of Christians by an ISIS affiliate. And on Christmas Day in 2019, the local Nigerian ISIS affiliate group Boko Haram targeted Christians, killing 11 of them. And the mainstream media was largely silent about this. And while I am grateful and thankful that here in Canada, we live in a free society where we get to freely worship our God, regardless of what God you worship, we also must be reminded that freedoms are fragile and must be exercised to be maintained. And that the right to worship is an inalienable right granted to us by God, not the government, but what the government is charged with protecting. In a time where, during the COVID-19 pandemic, churches are being shut down, temples, mosques, and even synagogues are being told to restrict their attendance, I am reminded, as a Christian myself, that I am to not forsake the assembly of myself with other believers. And this is a protected charter right that we as Canadians truly possess, and that the government is to protect and defend and promote for further flourishing. Religious freedom doesn't just matter for those of us who live in free societies, but for the hundreds of thousands who are seeking to flee persecution for that very belief that we here in Canada have been blessed with living out freely. For True North, I'm Matea Murda.